Step 1, make sure you have all your supplies. You will need for this build a rivet gun, a drill with a 13/64 drill bit, 13/64 drill bit. You'll need some marine goop, and then you will need a rod holder. This is a rod holder with the 241 mount by Scotty. And as you can see there, it does have an inboard arrow, but we will not be abiding by the inboard arrow. The inboard arrow means that you would have it placed something like this, and the arrow would be aimed towards the center. But we're actually going to place ours in this orientation due to what we are going to use these rod holders for. We're going to be using these rod holders for outrigger systems, which you can see in a later video. So we will not be abiding by Scotty's inboard arrow, but if you're going to be using these as a rod holder setup, you may want to consider doing that. There really shouldn't be any difference though in strength as long as you have these mounted securely. And you can use rivets, or you can also use well nuts, which I will show here now. As the bolt is threaded in, the well nut expands. Okay, step 2, you are going to want to make sure you have determined where you want to have the rod holders. We are going to have our rod holders right here on the front of the kayak, and we have taken a pen and just kind of marked the perimeter and then marked out the holes. The next step is to drill out the holes. Step 3, drill out the holes. Step 4, take your 3/16 rivets. These are the tri-grip rivets. Place them in there. Now, make sure you keep the same orientation. Make sure that your arrow's aimed in the same way and that your one gear head on the one side is aimed the same way. And then you'll be able to put them over the holes. But before we do that, we're going to take some marine goop just to add for sealant, and we're going to apply it to the holes. And it's okay if it's a little bit messy because this is going to be under a mount. Okay. Step 5. Take the rivets, place them in the holes. Or you could use well nuts in this case. If you were to use well nuts, you would have to drill a larger hole than this. That's why we didn't do it. But well nuts have a little bushing and they sit in the holes, and then you place the rod hole or the mount over top, and then you take the bolts and they thread into the bushings, and when you thread into the bushings, it expands the little nut that's inside the hole. So that's how well nuts work. Both work without having access to the inside of the hull of the kayak. Okay, there we have them all down. Now we're going to take our rivet gun and we're going to begin the riveting process. Remove the rod and then proceed on to the next one. Okay. Remove the rod, proceed on to the next one. Thanks for watching. This is the finished product. It is very secure. It is riveted to the kayak, and it can be repositioned in any orientation.